This is episode 6, a solo episode with me, Tiffany Hinton, and we're talking about some new products that I'm launching at Cultivating Guts. Hello, it's Tiffany, and welcome back to Cultivating Guts, a podcast where we discuss gardening, homesteading, gut health, and following our intuition. I am excited to be back with you guys this week. Last week, we talked about updates coming up on the homestead. Today on the podcast, we're going to talk about product updates, event updates, and everything that's going on and all the changes and evolutions and growth that we are having at Cultivating Guts. So many fun and exciting things coming forward for you, my community, and I want to just dive into those topics today. Simultaneously, we are video recording, and that means you can watch me do the podcast on Spotify or on YouTube. Our YouTube channel is youtube.com/Tiffany Hinton. And I also started putting some shorts out there on YouTube around gardening. So if you're looking for something short but good and educational, you can check out our YouTube shorts. So with that, let's talk a little bit about what we're going to be talking about today on the podcast. Definitely talking about some new products I'm launching, some new offerings I'm doing, an experience I had with a client yesterday that was so fun and exciting and just filled my heart. And also, we're going to talk about the new live retreat that's coming up. And there was an email, if you're on our email list, that came out this week giving you a special price. So for those that are in our community, we have a special price for our all-day garden retreat that saves you quite a bit of money, and it's only good through March 30th. So I'll drop that link in the show notes as well for our listeners, because you're part of our community, just like our email community. And it's exciting. So I'm going to dive into those topics on the podcast. Before we get started, if you could do me a huge favor and rate the podcast, subscribe so you get notifications when new episodes come out, and submit a review of the podcast as well. Send me a screenshot of the review at Tiffany@cultivatingguts.com. I will send you our free garden planner course, and screenshot your favorite part of the podcast, and I will repost that if you tag me on Instagram and share in a story at I am Tiffany Hinton. I actually love reposting stuff. I love reposting quotes, other garden tips, things that people have shared. And so you'll see lots of different stuff that is reposted in our stories on Instagram. In other big news, we do have a TikTok channel, and it is I am Tiffany Hinton. So not a lot of content there, but if you're a TikTok person and you're like, I'm not an Instagram person, you will find us on TikTok now as well. All right, before we head into the show, I have a quick word from our sponsor. Today's episode is sponsored by Cultivating Guts. We want to talk a little bit about our brand newish Little Witches Moon Gardening Club. And no, you don't have to be just a little witch. You could be a little wizard. The Moon Gardening Club happens in the north suburbs of Chicago. Once a month, the kids come together and have garden club. They have education, they have music, they have time with pets and animals, farm animals, chickens and rabbits, time in nature, and they learn biodynamic gardening skills. They learn the elements from fire, earth, wind, and water. They learn medicinal properties of herbs along with magical properties of plants. They learn to find their intuition, and they have space to create and just play. And it's a beautiful thing. And they're learning sustainable practices that'll help heal Mother Earth, that they'll be able to use to have a sustainable lifestyle in the future. If you would like your child to join us, or to learn more about the Little Witches Moon Gardening Club, visit our website, www.cultivatingguts.com. Sign your kid up today. New seasons and new clubs are the second or third week of every month. Welcome back to Cultivating Guts. We are unscripted today. I have no idea where this conversation is going to go, but I have some topics that I want to talk about. And first and foremost, not everybody I know is friends with me on Facebook. So you may or may not realize that I've started a brand new certification program. Why? Right? A lot of you are probably thinking like, oh my gosh, you're already busy. How are you going to do a certification program? Where are you going to fit in the schoolwork? How is the homework going to happen? Like, what is this even for? And I get it. A lot of those things went through my head as well when I applied for the certification program. I got a letter of acceptance, and I sat on the letter for about 5 weeks. And I was like, I want to do it, but where am I going to put it? I want to do it, but where am I going to put it? I want to do it. right? And then I finally something that everybody says from Ziegler to other people is busy people get things done. And I'm like, hello, just pay the money, complete the process of the and get enrolled in this certification program, right? So I did. And I am happy to say that I am loving it. So what is the certification program? It is a garden coaching and consulting certification program through Gardenary. And if any of you ever follow Gardenary on Instagram or Facebook, you'll know that not only do they have a company that builds very nice, stylish raised bed gardens in Houston, but they also have a certification program for garden coaches. And now you're probably saying, like, you already garden, so why are you doing this? I get it. Like, everything also went through my own brain. I asked all these questions of myself. I overthought it. And it's just like anything else. I'm doing it because intuitively I heard, go get it, right? And as I'm doing the coursework and as I'm doing the lessons and I'm doing the homework, I am having so much growth. I'm so glad I listened to the universe. I listened to that little piece in my head that said, just go do it. Just go do it. And so it's been on my list, honestly, for 2 years. So 2 years ago, I went through their boot camp for free for a week. I actually won a very nice canvas tote bag. I use it all the time. It's like my large canvas purse that holds everything, right? And it's the bottomless purse, my children call it. And at that point, I almost signed up. But I was still in the middle of the pandemic. I was coming out of my own depression. I was already in a mastermind to rebuild my own business, like what to do with GF Mom Certified, since it had tumbled apart and just crashed and made it like belly up, right? And so I had already committed to this mastermind. So I was like, I'm not going to commit to a certification at the same time I'm committing to a mastermind. And I had also kind of called in an herbal, right? And I still kind of want to have an herbalist license, but the herbalist license is sitting on the shelf. If it comes in loud and clear, then I'll go forward with like that. But what came in this year as I was doing my dream board and as I was sitting down and writing aspirations and big goals was complete the Gardenary program. Sign up for it, complete the Gardenary program. Now, the cool thing is that I immediately Instagrammed Gardenary. They got back with me. They sent me a link to sign up for the program. They said 30% of people, are accepted. So I was like, okay, only 30% of applicants are even accepted. You have to fill out this huge form. You have to talk about your experience, why you want to do it, how is it going to help people? Like, there's a whole process. Then I got the email that said, you've been accepted. Here's the link to sign up. If you sign up within 5 days, you'll save X amount of dollars. Tiffany didn't sign up within X amount of days. I'm paying full price. So like you said, all those little, what do you want to say? The angel and the devil sit on your shoulders, or the ego gets in the way, or the mind just chatters. It got in the way. What did that cost me? About $1,000. And this growth that I'm having right now, not starting sooner. But is it aligned with the timing? The perfect timing from God? Yeah, it's aligned with the timing right now. I have just completed week 5 of I have a Band-Aid on my finger for anybody on the video. Completed week 5 of the program. It's a 12-week program, and then I have to do the certification piece and take the test. And just so much growth in figuring out who is my actual client, like spending time doing 2 hours of homework around who is my client, like who am I actually selling to? Who am I writing emails to? Who's my person? Who's my energetic match? And I have all that detailed. And now it's going to start to evolve. What does the website look like? What do the emails look like? Like, what does social look like? Like, there's so many opportunities here and so much growth happening. It also helped me think about, what is my real mission when I let go of what was in the past? What is my mission today? Like, my big mission. What is the big thing? It's to heal Mother Earth. It's that basic. How do I do it? Teaching. I've always been a teacher, right? I am intuitively connected, right? So it's intuition and teaching and creativity. And that is another thing, whether you know it or not, like the word is not coming to me, but anyway, I'm a generator. So because I'm a generator, I always want to be creating. I always have ideas. The universe is always tapping me on the shoulder and saying, oh, this and oh, this and this. And at one point, one of my spiritual coaches said, Tiffany, you have so much floating around your aura. You're just going to reach out and grab it. Like, I can see it. And I'm like, I know that, but there's so much already spinning that I don't know that I want to grab something else and pull it into my aura. And she's like, that's who you are. You just keep doing it. And so what I'm doing with Cultivating Guts is, we have a podcast. Yes, we have a kids program we launched last October to teach kids how to rely on their own intuition, how to understand moon gardening and biodynamic gardening practices from an early age to get them back growing their own food, having fun in the dirt, understanding how to take care of animals and raising their own food, whether it be chickens or plants or even rabbits, right? Some people eat rabbits. That's another funny diversion. I had a guy ask me if we sold rabbits. I was like, not right now. We don't sell rabbits. I did when I was growing up, I sold rabbits for meat all the time. But right now we have very fancy little pedigree dwarf rabbits that are primarily there for snuggles and cuddles and oxytocin. That's why they're there. They give you oxytocin and serotonin. So we don't sell the dwarf rabbits for people to cook and stew. But so back on right? So I have focus. I know why Cultivating Guts exists. I know why the entity was brought to me by God in the universe. I know what our niche customer is. I know who she is. I know where she lives. I know her age group. I'm doing a lot of research on what communities can have chickens and which ones can't have chickens. I know that I'm only servicing 3 areas of the Chicago suburbs. I know I won't drive more than an hour to service a client. It's just not worth the time, the money, or the distance. And I can't support them because they're too far away. I know that I'm going to go through a whole website upgrade again. And the funny thing and the awesome thing is when we were in the training with Nicole Burke owns Gardenary and is the actual coach and the facilitator. She's like, a website is not a book. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to have all the edits complete. You can change your website every single day if you want, and it doesn't matter. So a website is evergreen. If you think about it that way, it's always evolving and changing. Is not intended to be static. I keep looking out the window because the chickens are outside. It's not intended to be static. You're supposed to upgrade it. You're supposed to create value. You're supposed to change the images, share more stories, share the testimonials. And that was so good to hear. So good to hear. The other thing that was good to hear is because of the certification, she's giving us minimum product dollar amounts, prices, right? We cannot charge less than a certain amount. So getting out of my own head because of the certification saying I don't know if somebody can afford this. I don't know. I'm charging so much. I don't know. Is it okay if I only make $10? No, it's not. I need a profit margin of at least 30%. Taxes are 20% business taxes. Whether you know it or not, I have a corporation. And that means I have business taxes. I have filings to do. I have legit business. And so I can't just love on customers and not make money and not make a profit. And so hearing that again is extra growth, knowing that there is a minimum price that we're setting for products that we're producing. And I'm going to get into some of the stuff I'm going to start offering. I can go above and beyond that, but I can't go below it because of the certification and because we're going to be sponsored and allowed to say that we've had this Gardenary instruction. And so it just goes with the market. It goes with the certification. It goes with the program. And so that also helps. It's a lot of getting out of my head around price and thinking about well, what about the guy that can't afford it? That I'm not his coach. And it's okay. There's somebody else in the world for that person. What about the man? I'm not his coach. I'm working with women that have children, women that have a backyard, women that live, like I said, in 3 specific communities. And a lot of you are like, wait, am I that woman? Well, if you're listening to the podcast, you probably are. If you live in the north or western suburbs, you probably are. If you have a backyard that's almost an acre or more, you're probably my client and or a potential client. And it's so exciting to actually get this focus and to get this really clear picture and just to be able to clear the clouds and the fogginess and the chatter and the mind out of the way and just focus in. And this is what it is. And so what have I done with this, right? We are doing the website. I'm telling you that right now. Next thing I've done is I offered some consultations, because that's what I'm training to be, is a garden coach, right? Taking my functional medicine coaching, my corporate coaching, my executive coaching. I've had all these other certifications, and aligning that with a garden coaching certification and putting that together is so cool. So using my listening skills, using my coaching, using the coaching models that I know, along with the new Gardenary stuff that I'm learning, and doing coaching to help people move past the overwhelm and the idea that just because they didn't garden growing up, that they can't do it now. The idea that they have to be a stay-at-home mom to garden. No, you don't. The idea that it's going to take too much of their time, or they're going to have to water every day. You're not going to have to. I'm telling you that right now. What I'm doing is helping through the coaching model, people learn to grow with the moon cycle, to set up their garden planner, because I'm a planning person, I'm a calendarizer. I'm going to help them do it. Similarly with the moon cycle. So there's 4 phases of the moon, which means that there's a week for certain things that happen in the garden, and it's already laid out in a plan. It's easy to follow, low maintenance. We're going to use biodynamic practices, meaning that the ground will stay moist, that there will be nourishment for the soil. You're going to heal Mother Earth as you're growing your food, because we're going to give back to the earth in using the biodynamic practices. We're going to create diversity in the soil. We'll create a diverse microbiome for Mother Earth. If you think about the microbiome in your gut, we're going to do that in the dirt, in the earth. And I'm excited. I'm so excited. Okay. So what are some of the products, right? So you know that I'm helping women, suburbs of Chicago, north and west. I can help you figure out how to raise chickens if that's your thing. But the primary products that I have, and it's like a 3-step path that every client will take. They will take step 1, step 2, and then step 3 if they choose. So the very first thing that we're going to offer is the garden consultation, where I will come to your house. I will help you look at your land, look at your space, figure out where the best spot is to put the raised bed. We will decide on the size of the raised bed. We'll talk about what you like to eat, what you don't like to eat, what would grow well. We'll talk about moon cycle gardening and how it will fit within your schedule. And I'll leave you with some leave behinds. And then I'm going to come home and I'm going to do a garden map for you, a planting map, a garden design. 1 month moon cycle, so you know exactly when to put things in the ground, how to plant it. I'll do you an estimate for all the supplies that you'll need, and then I'll quote you out if you were to do a DIYer. So we have a DIYer self-installation that you could do as step 3, or we have assisted installs that you could do as step 3. And so on the assisted installs, I have a simple veggie, which is like a 6x3, which gives you 18 square feet of growing space, 18 inches deep, 16 inches deep, raised bed that I will help you fill with the proper way to build up the dirt so it's biodynamic, add your crops, your seeds and your little plants, and then invite you into a monthly garden club that's going to kick off in May. So once a month, you'll have the opportunity to get together with other people, other clients of mine, other people that are part of the garden club, the adult garden club, because we already have the kids garden club, and learn as the season progresses. Learn about preserving the food, learn about making different things, taking it into the kitchen, harvesting, drying, all this fun stuff. The other thing that we're going to offer in step 3 is like the DIYer, the simple veggie garden, or what I'm calling an herbs and green. The herbs and green is smaller. It's a 2x4. It's specifically to grow like greens, so lettuce, kale, things like that, and fresh herbs, right? So you're not going to necessarily grow tomatoes or cucumbers or peas or green beans there. That would be in your simple kitchen garden. But in the herbs and green, you will grow the other items. So, and you could always put them together, and then so that's happening, and the formal announcements will be coming out on the first official day of spring. So you'll see and watch that. But as that is getting ready to be officially announced, the website's going to start to be evolving and growing, and I'm excited. The other thing that I'm offering are these workshops. So our first all-day retreat And we already have people signed up. So don't be thinking like, I'll wait until it gets closer and then I'll figure out if I'm going to go. Don't do that. I can only have 40 people because of spacing, because of supplies, and because I want to have time with the people. So only 40. And we already are selling tickets. So don't wait. The all-day retreat, we're going to do it on Earth Day in celebration of Earth Day and celebration of healing Mother Earth together, of creating communities of sustainability together. And I'm excited for the all-day retreat. We're going to start with some breath work and some movement, right? We got to get in our bodies. We got to be able to ground into the earth to actually feel and listen to Mother Earth and decide kind of how are we each individually, intuitively led to heal Mother Earth collectively as a community. I'm going to teach you about moon cycle gardening. You're going to do some garden design assisted. You're going to go through some seed catalogs. You're going to plant some seeds and learn how to start seeds properly. You're going to build your own raised bed. It's a mini raised bed. Catered lunches. And I will tell you that this is a, as my garden coach would say, a steal. I don't like using that word, but it is a steal. So if you register for the all-day retreat before the 30th of March, it's $127 for the community. And I'll put that link in the show notes, like I said. If you wait and hope that there's space, the price is going to go up. So it'll be $167 during the month of April. I already started ordering the supplies, and I'm so excited. Some of them are coming tomorrow. So we're getting Cultivating Guts canvas bags that you can use for the farmer's market. You can use them for fresh produce if you're taking produce to the neighbor. You can. Everybody's going to get the Greenwich Ultimate Garden Planner. We're going to fill it out while we're at the retreat. You're going to continue to fill it out through the seasons. If you join the monthly membership, then you'll bring your planner every month and we'll go through it every month and do it collectively together. You're taking home a raised bed. You're taking home seeds that you've started in dirt. There's just so much fun stuff. So much fun stuff. So you can find all of that over on our website. So that's happening. And then leading off of your garden consult on your installation or your DIYer, right? And leading off of the all-day retreat, we're going to offer a summer adult garden club. So once a month in the evenings, the adults will get together and do our gardening like chatter, right? Chit chat about gardening, learn some stuff, make some stuff in the kitchen, learn how to maybe make pickles. I think that's on my agenda. How to take the herbs and preserve them and dry them and make seasonings. And how do you make a blend, a spice blend, because you dry the herbs and then you mix them together and you put it in little jars. And how do you freeze? Do you have to cook the tomatoes and puree them before you can freeze them? No. So we're going to learn a lot about that during the monthly garden club. The garden club is going to be offered to people that have been at the retreat or have been a client of mine. So again, specifically energetically aligned, the community that I know that I am building will be invited to the garden club. We'll have it on my patio outside every month in an evening. We'll pick an evening of the week that works and it'll be fun. We can have some cocktails. We can show you how to make infused vodka one month or something else. Like it's going to be some fun and we're going to grow and it's going to be awesome. All right. I'm going to tell you a little bit about how the garden consult went yesterday with one of my clients. So I am accepting garden consults. You can private message me or you can send me an email at tiffany@cultivatingguts.com to schedule them. Once we get the website upgraded and ready to go, you'll be able to schedule them online as well and pay in advance. So I got out to the lady's house, and some of this is just like, oh my gosh, seriously. And you're just going to laugh with me because I was laughing and she was laughing. It was just awesome. So I get her address. I confirm. I drive there. It's like 37 minutes or something. And I pull into what I believe is her house based on Google Maps. And I ring the doorbell, no answer. And I wait. And then I knock on the door, no answer. And I wait. And I'm like, what the heck? Maybe your doorbell's not working. She doesn't have a ring. So maybe she's, I don't know, in the shower. I don't know. I was like in my head making up all these things. And I'm like, all right, forget this. Text her. Tell her you're here. So I take my phone and I text, I'm here. And she texts me back an address. And I look at the door and I look at the phone and I'm like, it's 5 houses away according to the number. I was at 83 and she's like at 88 or something. I'm like, oh, crap. So I turn around to start to walk back to the car. the Jeep to drive down the street, and she's standing across the street at the house behind me, laughing and waving. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And she's like, do you like dogs? And I was like, yeah, why? She's like, I have 2 dogs over today. I was like, cool. And so I like back out and back into her driveway. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I feel like an idiot. She's like, it's okay. It's something funny and I like it. And so we walk around her yard. She tells me a little bit about they've been there almost 2 years. She had some trees taken out and some evergreens taken out. There's like an acidic area of her soil because that's where the pine needles are. She definitely is looking for some berries. And then we start to like think about like, what does she want like vegetable wise? What does she want to grow in a garden? And the first thing she said was basil. I need basil. And I was like, okay, cool. What else? Oregano. And so I start to hear like herbs. And then I hear her say like, and spinach and kale and collards and beets. And I'm like, all right, now we're getting a groove and I'm understanding, right? And I'm making a list and I'm rough sketching her backyard. And then she potentially is looking for some apple trees and some berries and some other stuff. And my primary focus, if you're listening to this, is the raised bed and the garden. So and then she took me around to her front yard and I was like, I know somebody that does permaculture for front yards. I'll connect you to that person. So if you listened to the podcast last season, Brian Winkleman was on the podcast and he does permaculture large scale, like turns the whole yard into edible food. And it still looks like landscaping. Sneaky, and amazing at the same time. And then we start to talk about what is sustainability, what are her current challenges, what makes her nervous. So she doesn't really have a garden where she's at. That's a challenge. Sustainability is knowing that she's going to have a food supply if she can't get to the grocery store. And I'm like, yeah, the pandemic was interesting, even for myself. It was a step back. And so we have this discussion and I love it. And we immediately figure out like how we know each other because we've been connected online for years and we have 2 friends that are friends. And then we've actually met at past events and networking. And so that was fun. And then we talk a little bit about her aspirations. And it was just this amazing opportunity to laugh and to understand how I can help somebody else, how I can bring joy to their harvest, how I can bring joy to their daily life. What are they looking for in their garden, right? Knowing that she is away most weekends traveling for stuff, knowing that she is a realtor. And so she's in and out of her own house, in and out of other houses, and she can be busy certain seasons of the year. And all of that is helpful in doing the design when we think about how to set up the garden that's the right size for her and where her son is in her yard and things like that. And so as I was leaving yesterday, big hugs. And I'm getting back with her next week with her estimate, with her design, with her planting map, and a supply list. And then we'll go from there and see what she wants to do for step 3 of the garden pathway that I have to get people up and running with a biodynamic moon cycle garden in their own yard. So it's fun to share these stories. I've got another client that we just ordered all the supplies to do the raised bed builds. This is a larger client. We're doing 4 additional raised bed builds. I did a raised bed build for her last year. Super simple. I mean, the shape wasn't simple, but it was simple. But we're doing a little bit more complex this year, adding on to that space. And so I have the supply order in, and one of hers is going to be a cold frame bed. This will be my first cold frame I'm building for a client, not just myself. And so we've got hinges and stuff coming. And that one, I'll pre-cut it all at home, drill it, and then take the cordless and all the stuff with me to build at her facility, but it'll be all kind of cut and done here. So some of these are, they're a little bit more expensive because I've got to be out there all day on site, but they're assisted builds. And that's what I'm loving about it, is that at the same time, the client is learning alongside me. They're getting their hands in the dirt just like I'm in the dirt. They're learning how to plant things. They're learning how depths of different seeds. They're learning about the friends and the foes, the companion planting. They're learning like, oh, if I wanted to build a raised bed, this is how it goes together. Maybe it's not super intimidating. Maybe I don't have to be stressed about it. So I'm teaching at the same time. And then all of these clients will be invited to join the monthly membership after we get them up and established. And so it's all coming together. So I wanted to share that with you. If you're seeing some posts and you're a little confused, or you're like, I wonder what Tiffany's doing now. This is what I'm doing, and why I went back to the school basically for the certification course, and how the certification is going to continue to evolve and grow and improve me and my growth and my business, and how it's going to be able to help me help you even better. So thank you for tuning in to Cultivating Guts. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Share with me what your favorite part was, and share with me if you're interested in a garden consult. You can send me a private message online on social media, or you can send me an email at tiffany@cultivatingguts.com and give me your email address and your phone number, and I will text you and we'll find a time to talk and schedule time for your garden consult. Ask me any questions. I'm here for you, and I'm excited to see what you grow this season in your own backyard. Satnam, love you guys. So if you love this episode, remember to share it with your friends. Send it to anyone who may love this inspiration or information that I shared today. And to get my newest book, The Ultimate Green Witch Garden Planner, you can find it on Amazon or on our website, cultivatingguts.com. And if you book a garden consult with me, you get the planner for free. If you show up at the retreat, the live retreat in Chicago, you get the planner for free. So you'll get our newest book that way as part of your package. To get any information that you need on our live event, check the show notes below or visit www.cultivatingguts.com/garden retreat. And to get information on scheduling a garden consult with me, again, just message me directly, send me a text, send me an email, or send me a social media message, and we will schedule you a date. You can even send me a PM on TikTok or on Instagram, and I will find it and I will see it. But everything else that you need to get growing and going, including our garden masterclass, are over at www.cultivatingguts.com.